Hello, everyone, and welcome to the reading of the American classic, Squidwards. I can't say the actual word yet. Thanks, YouTube. Anyways, to help me read this story, I brought on my favorite Spongebob influencer, Tosca VA, everyone. He's here at my house. Right, Tosca? You want to say hi? Okay, well, he's shy. He is here, though. Definitely didn't have him pre-record his lines. I don't know why you would even ask that. You're acting kind of crazy right now. But, without further ado, let's read Squidwards. I just want to start off by saying that if you want an answer at the end, prepare to be disappointed. There isn't one. I was an intern at Nickelodeon Studios for a year in 2005 for my degree in animation. It wasn't paid, of course, most internships aren't, but it did have a perk beyond education. To adults, it might not seem like a big one, but most kids at the time would go crazy over it. Since I worked directly with the editors and animators, I got to view new episodes days before they aired. Yo, that's fucking sick. I'll get right to it without giving too many unnecessary details. Okay, that is not true. I remember he gives many unnecessary details. They had very recently made the SpongeBob movie. The entire staff was somewhat sapped of creativity, so it took them longer to start up the season. But the delay lasted longer for more upsetting reasons. Oh my god. There was a problem with the Series 4 premiere that set everyone and everything back several months. Holy shit, what could it be? Me and two other interns were in the editing room, along with the lead animators and sound editors, for the final cut of an episode. We received the copy that was supposed to be Fear of the Krabby Patty. I remember that one. And gathered around the screen to watch. Now, given that the final cut isn't final yet, animators often put up a mock title card at the beginning. It's sort of an inside joke for us, with phony, oftentimes lewd titles being used, such as How Sex Doesn't Work instead of Rockabye. What the hell is that word? Rockabye Valve? Valve. I don't know how to say that word. I'm not going to look it up. In which SpongeBob and Patrick adopt a sea scallop. Nothing particularly funny, just work-related chuckles. So when we saw the title card,
Squidwards Suicide,
we didn't think it more than a morbid joke. One of the other interns did a small throat laugh at it. No. You are an unpaid intern grinding, and you're telling me... I'm sorry. I'm picturing the title Squidward Suicide going up, and just the SpongeBob music like... That's the funniest thing you've seen all week. It's not just a little... The episode started with the happy-go-lucky... See? That's so funny. It started with the happy-go-lucky music playing as normal. And it said Squidward Suicide. That's the funniest thing I've ever heard. Dear Lord, I would lose my shit. The episode started with the happy-go-lucky music playing as normal. The story began with Squidward practicing his clarinet, hitting a few sour notes like normal. We hear SpongeBob laughing outside. Squidward stops, yelling at him to keep it down, as he had a concert that night and needs to practice. SpongeBob says, "Okay," and goes to see Sandy with Patrick. The bubble splash screen. I don't know why it's so funny to me that this is like supposed to be a haunting episode, but they have like all the SpongeBob sound effects and music apparently. The bubble splash screen comes up, and we see the ending of Squidward's concert. Huh? Just skipping to the end. Get out of town. This is when things begin to seem off. Well, playing a few frames repeat themselves. How would you even see... Wait a minute. Wait. A few frames, you wouldn't even notice that. It's 24 frames per second. You wouldn't just be like, there were some animations that repeated themselves. You wouldn't be able to spot that. It would be like... whatever. Role-playing a few frames repeat themselves, but the sound doesn't. It's supposed to be synced with the animation, so yes, that's not common. Okay, buddy, you're in the room approving a final episode. I think some editing mistakes are kind of supposed to happen. It's not final yet, as you said. So it seems like that's pretty common to me, but whatever, Mr. Intern. But when Squidward stops playing, the sound finishes, as if the skip never happened. Yeah, buddy, you gotta edit that. I don't know what to tell you. That's how editing happens. There is slight murmuring in the crowd before they begin to boo him. Not the normal cartoon booing that's common in the show. Oh, brother.
This guy stinks!
Oh, shit. Not the normal cartoon booing that's common in the show, mind you. You could very clearly hear malice in it. Squidward's in full frame and looks visibly afraid. The shot goes to the crowd with SpongeBob in the center frame. He too is booing. No, not SpongeBob! Oh no! How could you do this to your friend? He too is booing, which is very much unlike him. That isn't the oddest thing, though. What's odd is that everyone has... Oh, here it is! Everyone has...
Hyper-realistic
eyes. Oh my god, yes! So this is a very old creepypasta. I would say like 2010s, around that time frame. And something that was in many early creepypastas is the term hyper-realistic. I have no idea how that came to be a prominent term in the creepypasta community. It doesn't mean anything. I understand what they're implying and being like, oh, it's so real. It doesn't look like it's on a TV. It looks like I can reach across the screen and touch it. But hyper-realistic doesn't imply anything. That's just what realistic means. That being said, hilarious term. I love it. All very detailed. Clearly not shot of real people's eyes, but something a bit more real than CGI. The pupils were red. Some of us looked at each other, obviously confused. But since we weren't the writers, we didn't question its appeal to children yet. Okay, buddy, really? Okay. I guess Dan Schneider ruled with an iron fist. You might have judged that. The shot goes to Squidward, sitting on the edge of his bed. Oh my god, we skipped. Holy shit, okay. Sitting on the edge of his bed, looking very forlorn. The view out of his porthole window is of a night sky, so it isn't very long after the concert. The unsettling part is that at this point there's no sound. Literally zero sound. Oh my god. Not even the feedback from the speaker. Dude, I don't care. Oh my god. There was no sound. Why, just a shot ago it was at 35 decibels. We calibrated these speakers at the beginning of the... I don't need to know any of this. This doesn't scare me. This is absurd. God. There's no sound. Literally zero sound. Not even the feedback from the speakers in the room. It's as if the speakers were turned off, though their status showed them working perfectly. Okay. Squidward just sits there in this silence, blinking for about 30 seconds, then starts to sob softly. Oh no, it gets funnier. Then starts to sob softly. No, I can't read the next line. It's so funny. He puts his hands, tentacles in over his eyes. I can hear the... Oh my god. Oh, that's so funny. No, that's never not gonna get me. I totally forgot about that. Okay, we'll try to read this for real now. Then starts to sob softly. He puts his hands, tentacles, over his eyes and cries quietly for a full minute more. All the while, a sound in the background is very gradually growing from nothing to barely audible. It sounds like a slight breeze through a forest. The screen slowly begins to zoom in on his face. By slowly, I mean that it's only noticeable if you look at shots 10 seconds apart side by side. You're doing all of this while watching this? What are you talking about? His sobbing gets louder and more full. His sobbing gets louder and more full of hurt and anger. Okay. The screen then twitches a bit, as if it twists. What? As if it twists in on its. I can't do it in the voice. As if it twists in on itself for a split second. I might be too dyslexic to understand what I'm reading there. Before going back to normal, the wind through the tree sound gets louder and more severe, as if a storm is brewing somewhere. The eerie part is that this sound and Squidward's sobbing sounded real. It was like it was coming from the speakers, but that the speakers themselves were holes that the sound was traveling through from the other side. Okay, that's how speakers work, pal. So the speakers are working fine. I don't know what to tell you. As good a sound as the studio likes to have. They don't have the... I'm so tired. I don't care about the audio equipment. Oh my god. It's just a waste of my goddamn breath. As good a sound as the studios like to have, they don't have the equipment to be able to produce audio of that quality. Nickelodeon doesn't. It's only one of the biggest companies out there producing television and movies. Sure, pal. Below the sound of the wind and sobbing, very faintly audible. Oh, God, more of this. Something sounded like laughing. It came at odd intervals and never lasted more than a second. So you had a hard time pinning it. We watched this episode twice, so pardon me if things sound too specific, but I've had time to think about them. After 30 seconds of this, the screen blurred and twitched violently, and something flashed over it, as if a single frame was replaced. This man has the eyes of, like, what would even... My guy's on Spice. He's catching all 24 frames. What we saw was horrible. It was a still photo of a dead child. Dear Lord. Couldn't have been more than 6. His face was mangled and bloody. One eye dangling over it. Jesus. Popped. Oh! Oh my god. This... Holy shit. This gets nasty. He was naked down to his underwear, his stomach crudely cut open, and his entrails splayed out beside him. He was laying on some pavement that was... I'm not concerned with the pavement, but thank you for letting me know. It was probably a road. What was the employee who was just... They're talking like, Jesus, this is horrible. This is a dead kid who looks horrible, bloodied. It looks like Jack the Ripper got him. And some employee's just like, God, look at that pavement. It looks like it's probably a road. Or someone's like, is that a sidewalk? No, it's a road. No, thanks for that detail. The most upsetting part was that there was a shadow of the photographer. Okay, that is not the no, absolutely not. I'm not even scared by that. Yeah, I get it, man. The murderer took this shot. That's what you're going to imply. Oh, but not the kid being bloodied and naked with his stomach open. I'm sorry. Get out of town. The most upsetting part was that there was a shadow of the photographer, but no crime tape, evidence tags, or markers, and the angle was completely off for a shot designed to be evidence. I don't know how you know that, but whatever. It seemed they were the person responsible for the child's death. We were, of course, mortified, but pressed on, hoping that this was just a sick joke. My guy, what are you talking about? Don't be a hero. Don't be like, we must continue for the... What are you even doing? Call the cops immediately. What are you talking about? Is there still a part of the back of his head being like, nah, it's just those sickos at Nickelodeon. You know, Dan, he likes the feet. Well, our guys over here, we like the dead kids. If you can't handle this kid, you ain't gonna last in Hollywood. God. The screen flipped back to Squidward, still sobbing. Louder than before, half of his body in the frame. There was now what appears to be blood running down his face from his eyes. This is the shot! Oh! The blood was also done in... Yes! Yes! The blood was also done in a...
Hyper-realistic.
style. Yes, we got another one. Looking as if you'd get it on your fingers if you touch the screen. Again, you didn't need hyper, did ya? The wind sounded now as if it were that of a gale blowing through the forest. There were even snapping sounds like of branches. The laughing. Did I miss that? Oh, there was like laughing at like 1 second intervals or something, because my guy loves talking about the small details of intervals and frames. The laughing, a deep baritone, lasted for longer. Intervals, and came more frequently. After about 20 seconds, the screen again twisted and showed a single frame photo. Oh my god, it's another dead kid, isn't it? Your lord. The editor was reluctant to go back. We all were. But he knew he had to. No, you sure don't. Call the cops, give it to them. Dear lord. This time, the photo appeared to be of a little girl, no older than the first child. She was lying on her stomach. Her barrettes? I think I'm saying that. Barrettes in a pool of blood next to her. Her left eye was damaged in the same way as the boy, and she was naked, except for her underpants. This is nasty. I don't like any of this. This is, I don't know. This is like, if I was 14, I would have written this because I'd be like, yeah, I'm super edgy, and I'm going to draw dead children in the story to make it like super creepy, just absurdly gory. Her entrails were piled on top of her above another crude cut along her back. Again, the body was on the street. Sure it wasn't a road? Sure it wasn't a sidewalk? We're very concerned about the pavement, apparently. And the photographer's shadow was visible, very similar in size and shape to the first. I had to choke back vomit, and one intern, the only female in the room, ran out. Oh my god.
Get out of Hollywood, toots! You can't handle some dead kids? Boo!
God. And one intern, the only female in the room, ran out. The show resumed. I gotta be honest, guys. I feel like one dead kid photo, that's pretty bad. 2 dead kid photos, that's really bad. In both occasions, maybe stop watching the episode and call the cops. Just an idea, but I know we're not going to do that. About 5 seconds after the second photo played, Squidward went silent. All sound cut out. Oh, the decibels were at 0? Like it did when the scene started. He put his tentacles down, and his eyes were now done in
hyper-realism.
Like the others. Oh, hell yeah, another one. We're at the beginning of the episode. They were bleeding, bloodshot and pulsating. He just stared at the screen, as if he was watching the viewer. After about 10 seconds, he started sobbing, this time not covering his eyes. The sound was piercing and loud. The most fear-inducing thing of all was that his sobbing was mixed with screams. Tears and blood were dripping down his face at a heavy rate. The wind sound came back, and so did the deep voice laughing. Jabba, laughing. This time with a still photo that lasted for a good 5 frames. My god, this guy's eyes are good. Hollywood, hire this man. Don't just get him as an intern. Nickelodeon's gotta nab this man. The animator was able to stop it on the 4th and backed up. This time, the photo was of a boy about the same age, but the scene was different. A new M.O. His entrails were being pulled out from his stomach wound by a large hand. The right eye popped and banged. This does not sound like a different M.O. Blood trickling down it. The animator proceeded. The next frame was different, but we couldn't tell how. He continued to the next image, and it was the same thing. He then went back to the first and played them quicker, and I lost it. I vomited on the floor. Boo! Boo! What a loser! What a loser! Can't even hold it in. Never mind, this guy's not going to make it in Hollywood. The animation sound editors gasping at the screen. The 5 frames were not 5 different photos. They were frames from a video. Yeah, man, that's how animation works. That's how cameras work. They were frames from a video. We saw the hand slowly lifting out the guts. We saw the kid's eyes focus on it. Okay, but wasn't one of the eyes squished? Yeah, okay. We even saw 2 frames of the kid beginning to blink. One of his eyes is
God, what are you talking about?
The lead sound editor told us to stop. He had to call in the creator. No, don't call Mr. Hillenberg. He doesn't need to see this. No. I will just say he was alive when this was written. So I don't want it to feel like this is post-mortem written about Mr. Hillenberg. Mr. Hillenberg arrived within about 15 minutes. He was confused as to why he had been called down, so the editor just continued the episode. Once the next few frames were shown, all screaming and sound again stopped. Squidward was just staring at the viewer, his face taking up the full frame for about 3 seconds. The shot quickly panned out. That deep voice said,
Do it!
And we saw a shotgun in Squidward's hands. Yes! Yes! It's gonna Kurt Cobain. Oh no. He immediately put the gun in his mouth and pulls the trigger. Realistic blood and... It wasn't hyper-realistic? Oh my god. Realistic blood and brain matter splatters the wall behind him and his bed, and he flies back with force. Oh no. Oh no! I just realized Mr. Hillenberg saw all of this. No, Stephen! Not his creation. The last 5 seconds of the episode show his body on the bed on its side, one eye dangling. Why? He really likes that detail. God. One eye dangling from what's left of his head above the floor, staring blankly at it. Then the episode ends. Mr. Hillenberg was obviously angry at this. He demanded to know
What the hell's going on?
Most people left the room at this point, so there were just a handful of us left to watch it. Who's cleaning up your vomit? You better be doing that. I hope the room's not carpeted. It's a sound studio. It's probably carpeted. Shit. So there were just a handful of us left to watch it again. Oh my god, I forgot they watched it twice. What the hell is wrong with them? Oh my god. You do not need to do this. Oh no. Just call the cops. Viewing the episode twice only served to imprint the entirety of it in my mind and caused me horrible nightmares. Yeah, man, that's on you. I'm sorry I stayed. The only theory we could think of was that the file had been edited by someone in the chain from the drawing studio to here. The CTO was called in to find out when it happened. Analysis of the file did show it was mixed with new material. However, the timestamp of the change was a mere 24 seconds. Before we began viewing it, all equipment involved was examined for foreign software and hardware, as well as glitches, such as if the timestamp was showing us the wrong time. But everything checked out fine. We didn't know what had happened, and to this day, nobody does. There was an investigation due to the nature of the photos, but nothing came of it. Okay. No child seen was identified, and no clues were gathered from the data involved, nor physical clues from the photos. I never believed in unexplainable phenomena before, but now that I've had something happen to me and I can't prove anything about it beyond anecdotal evidence, I think twice about things. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed revisiting this classic Americana. I would like to thank you all for tuning in, and a special thank you to Tosca for helping me bring this story to life. Tosca, is there anything you would like to say before the video ends?
Yeah, actually. The check you gave me bounced.
What?
So, haven't actually gotten paid yet.
Oh, yeah? That's weird. I'll make sure to get that sorted out for you.
Also, it's 2025. Why'd you give me a check? Just give me the money through...
See ya.
One, two,